Hi, this is Jacqueline here with the Grow Program. Thank you for growing with me on today. I am, I praise God. I just thank and praise God as I watch things, the way things are unfolding all around me. I am just so grateful that the neighbor next door that I told you about a while ago, always trying to peek in the windows, every opportunity he got, and different things, doing, different underhanded stuff, standing outside my window, doing his thing out there. But anyway, they moved away, and I thought I was going to have at least maybe, 1 or 2 days of peace because, they were always blaring the TV, fighting, clowning. That peace lasted 1 day, and now they over there banging and cleaning and, getting it ready to rent it out again over there. So, I'm telling you, it's hard to find peace. You're on a quest for peace. And that's what you need to be doing. Be on a quest for peace. Be about peace. Peace is within you. Let peace be with you. Carry peace with you everywhere you grow. Take peace. Not that peace. 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 Let peace be about you. So love as you grow. That's how you're going to make the difference. Love is the key, really. Keep on pushing, hallelujah. Trust the process. You're already blessed. Don't stress. Rise in God to your greatness. Because, see, you're already blessed. You got life, and life more abundantly. But a lot of the stress you bring upon yourself. See, we got to turn toward strife. We got to turn toward chaos, negativity, and drama. And people who are about that, see, because what'll happen is you'll let them people make you sick. You'll let them people, you'll keep on with that stuff. Keep on stressing about grown folks. What grown folks gonna be doing? Where they at? What they gonna do? When last time you heard from? When you talk to? What you go? And you sitting up here stressing and worrying about them. Are you worrying about you? What you gonna do? Where you at? Are you right in the right place with God? Where you need to be at? Are you trusting the process? Or you over here dibbling and dabbling and all kind of different things? The mover and shaker. The thinker and the doer. Sometimes it's a good thing to sit and think instead of be the one to get up and do. Be the one to hurry up and run off somewhere, and jump off in something. Sit down and think about it for a minute. Meditate on the Lord. That's the way that's the way I look at the picture. I don't look at it as we need to be always up doing something. First you got to meditate. You got to think. You got to plan out. You got to make sure this in the plan and the will of God. If it's in the will of God. Is it about love? Do it got to do with love? Or it got to do with some foolishness? Some come up, chasing the paper. See, because you got to read what's on the paper. You got to study that. You got to know what that's about. That's on there. You got to understand that you got a great mind. You got a mind and a mind that'll carry you over anything. You are in this world, but you're not of this world. Ain't nothing over you. Ain't no anxiety over you. Ain't no depression got you. You say you got depression, well then depression got you. If you claim it, it claim you. You claim arthritis claim you. Well, arthritis got me today, I can't do it. Then you can't do nothing because arthritis may decide to get you tomorrow too. Arthritis may decide to get you every day. Then, you can't do nothing. Well, Arthur got me. This Arthur's life. So I'm here for Arthur. I'm telling you, and Arthur is your author because arthritis, that's what's going to be, Arthur, that's your story. Arthritis. Arthur got me. Arthur dictating this life. No, you dictate your own life. You rise to greatness. Don't let nothing overtake you. That pain don't control you. You control. I'm telling you, be empowered by pain. The ancestors did, even as they were going through the struggle, they were empowered by the pain. They rose up again. They kept rising up. They kept fighting. They didn't give up. They kept on moving. So that's what we got to do. We got to keep on moving. Trust the process because you're already blessed and don't stress. God got your happiness. Your keys of happiness are in your own pocket and you trust God. Just look to God because You can look to other people to make you happy, and that's who let you down. Because, see, you looking at the wrong place. You running after some man or some woman, hoping they going to make you happy. This was going to make me happy, but you need to make your own self happy. Make yourself happy, too. Then you can go make others happy. See, because, it's some different people doing some different things, running up behind folks, chasing people, thinking that that's their happiness. But, see, God done moved that out the way for a minute because, see, God needs to deal with you. That's moved out the way. You can just forget about that for right now. You need to work on you. You need to deal with you because, see, now you acting out, doing different things, acting out with different folks, and you need to control you. You need to get a grip. Wait a minute. Get a grip before they grip you because, see, they about to grip you. If you don't get a grip, somebody got to get a grip. Somebody got to have some stopping sense, just like the merry-go-round, it's spinning and spinning. I used to hate to see a merry-go-round when I was a kid. I didn't even want to go to a park they had. When I walked right past, I had to get on it. Everybody did, and so, the thrill of it really at first, but really I did not like them. But, the merry-go-round is spinning and spinning, and they ain't going to stop. They just going to keep spinning because it's fun to them to watch you spin. They ain't on it. They the spinners. So, you at one point or another, you got to jump off that merry-go-round. Now, how many times you been on that merry-go-round? You got to jump off that merry-go-round. Maybe this time, you don't have too many bumps and bruises, but you don't want to keep getting on that merry-go-round. You keep falling off. You don't keep hurting yourself. You got to learn. Somebody got to have some stopping sense. You don't keep getting on it. No, just walk right past that. That's trouble. You don't want none of that. That's not none of that. You ain't here for that. You got a God-given purpose, a purpose-driven life. And it's beyond, I'm telling you, it's beyond people. It's beyond your kids. It's beyond your family. It's beyond your job. It's here for God. It's for God. It's not about earthly things. It's not about that new dining room set. It's not about those shoes. It's not about that dress you're trying to get. Honey, it's about this life, this highway of life that we own. These detours and maneuvers and different things, different ways we got to go. You think you're going this way. Here come a crash. Somebody caused the crash, a traffic jam in your life. And now you got to clean up, stress. You got to get back up, raise up, over this mess that they done caused. And then, there you go back on the highway of life. You done caused a traffic jam. Now you got to take the L. You messed up. But you take the L, not the loss. Take the lesson, and you grow with it. You grow. Yeah. I was telling you about, Mr. Lenny bringing that garlic over there, and Ryan was spooked, and it's something to deal with a narcissist. To realize how you put your all into your relationship. You put your everything into it. You get in it for the right reasons, but they get in it for the wrong reasons. They see you as a come up, but you never even realize the whole time that you putting in that you are actually a come up for them. But I'm gonna tell you something. You may have been a come up for them, but easy come, easy go. Just like they got it, they lose it. It's gone just like that. But look here, what you got is God. It don't matter about that. We're going to grow from that. We're not going to get in the grips of depression. We're going to break free of the vices of this world. We are not going to claim none of that. We're going to walk in our spiritual life, and we're going to take care of our mental self. We're going to take care of our physical self. We're going to begin to eat right. We're going to rise above the circumstances. We're going to turn around because, see, now you can look back. You can rise from the dust. A big old traffic jam just began in your life, just got caused, and pause. You have to stop for a minute. You have to clean up. You have to straighten up. Then you got to get back on the road. Get back on the road, so destination up ahead, greatness. Greatness in God. That's what we striving for on this highway of life, A lot of bumps and bruises, a lot of potholes, a lot of detours, a lot of climbs, a lot of downhill falls. But see, through it all, we got God, and we rise. We don't fall. We link up, lock up, and here we are, so we grow from here. We link up, lock up, that way we don't fall. We may roll down, stumble down a little bit. We got one another, so we going to hold together. We going to stick together because God commands us to. God commands us to love one another, love the Lord as we do, and love ourselves and love each other too. That's what God commands us to do. Love covers everything. Love is the greatest power. And through love, we can make it. Hour after hour as we overcome. Because one day, as the glory continues to come, the glory is coming, revelation, the confirmation. God is revealing things. God is doing things. God is doing some blessing right now, blessing people's lives as they're growing, because I'm touching and I'm sowing. I'm sowing the seeds of love, trying to make you realize, first of all, you got to love you first before you can love anybody else. You got to love you. You got to take care of you. What about you? I remember, I love that movie. What about Bob? What about Bob? We got to take care of Bob. I love Bob. But anyway, what about you? We got to grow too. You got to grow, because if you don't take care of you, you ain't going to be here for them. I realized that. When's the last time I took care, looked out for, I got to look out for me, my mental well-being. See, I can't let you take me there. I can't let you stress me out like that. I can't have you ripping and running me up to this doctor and I'm having heart palpitation, blood pressure, just pulling my hair out. I don't know what to do. I don't know where you at. I don't know what to do about you. But I got to do about me, see, because you going to do you anyway. I realize that. I can tell you, sit here and tell you all day long, but you going to turn around and do you. And then when you go do you and mess it up, after I told you don't do it that way, do it the godly way, you go do it that way, then you want to come back, talk about how we're going to undo this. You got to turn to God, honey. You just got to turn to God. You got to ask God to come fix you. God, what do I need to do? What I need to fix some stuff at? Where I need to change up at? How do I make me better? So then I can make things around me better. That's how it works. You can't fix nothing around you if you ain't fixed. It ain't gonna work. You got to fix first, and then that's how you fix stuff around you. Then when you begin to lift around you, you lift yourself. You don't just lift you, and in the end you lift it. And then what that mean? Because you're still leaving, you still gotta go. And ain't nothing going with you. You ain't taking nothing. We're all staying here. So now it's time to grow. It's time to learn that we are one, and come together. And our love and power and strength in numbers is what's going to help propel us over this oppression all around us. There was an episode, and I'm telling you, honey, these days and times we living in, we just got to pray. I see the evil, I know what the evil is doing, and I predicted it back in one of my episodes that I put it in the description. But, before it happened, January 6th, I knew where we were headed. And the powers that be. But the powers that be aren't really. God is. The powers that be think they are, but they aren't really. See, that's what I had to understand. No matter what back then this man was doing up there in that White House, no matter what unchecks and balances and moving different people and putting people in acting positions to act out evil, doing this, doing that, acting. You can say what you want to say about him. He had some good power. He did some good things. Yes, he did. But he was over there unchecking and doing different things he wasn't supposed to be doing. Taking classified records down to Mar-a-Lago, hiding stuff, transcripts and secret meetings and love letters with dictators. Okay, look, we growing. So see, God showed me, that God is really in control. He's not that the former guy was not our problem. We are. So we got to grow. We got to understand that white supremacy is a myth. White supremacy, ain't no such thing as white supremacy. Ain't nobody here supreme over nobody. You ain't supreme over, you ain't supreme over me. Just because that your mouth say that, don't make it so. It's not so. So love grow. So, what we got to do is come together, people, just like they did back then, the freedom fighters. You got to speak against it. If you believe that it ain't so, you, my Caucasian sister and brother, got to say so. We got to speak about Asian hate. We got to speak about injustices wherever we see it, whenever we see it. We got to be the voice. We got to be the change. You just can't sit back and hope they do it. You got to do it too. You got to be the change. Be the change, and then you change the world. See, because the kids looking at you, well, what you gonna do? I've had mine ask me that so many times. What you gonna do? When we gonna do it? How we gonna do it? When we gonna do it? Where we gonna do it at? They want to know everything. See, they looking at us. You may think ain't nobody watching you. It may not even be your child that's watching you, but kids watch you, and they do what you do. Not what you say. They do what you do. They do what you say in front of you, but they do what they do what you do. Because they're our little mini-me's. They watch us. They do. Kids, honey, kids are so smart. They're God's ray of hope for tomorrow. That's what they are. God's ray of hope for tomorrow. We got to cultivate that hope. And we got to bring that hope out. And we got to pour love into that hope. Because that hope is going to give us unconditional love. There go our future. There go our tomorrow. They coming together in love. That's what we got to teach these children. They talking about critical race theory. Honey, these children know all about race. What you need to tell them is we came from a divided time and we're going into a united time. They need to be dealt with, reprimanded in school, about holding slave auctions and different things, making kids feel threatened and mistreated, the way it's going over in Ukraine. It's so much that you could focus. I could focus on, okay, I'm growing in 72 countries. It's so much oppression everywhere. It's just oppression everywhere. Scams everywhere. Scams ain't just over there. Scams are everywhere. Corruption, greed, all these different things are everywhere. It's all over the place. Not just one place. I just can't call you out over there, Taiwan. I just can't call you out over there, Australia, anywhere. United States, I can't just call anywhere out. It's everywhere. But what we got to do is sow love everywhere. See, because that's how you drive out hate. Love, not hate, will make the world great. Use that love, that side you got from God, take the reign and grow. And when you grow around, you grow. See, because it ain't just one flower growing, that's a bud. And it keeps on budding and growing. That's what happened. Flowers grow seeds. So just keep on growing and blooming. That's what you do. Keep blooming and growing. Greatness reached over oppression through wisdom. Link up, lock up, and bring somebody else over the oppression through wisdom. We ain't coming through with it. We're going to come over it. We're going to rise up over it. We growing over it. We are warriors on top for God in this world, but not of this world, transformed truly by renewing of our mind. Our life is a beautiful gift to lift those around you, to be the change, to make the difference for tomorrow, today, for a better way. Kings and queens, that's us. We hold the key to our destiny. Love. It's through love. It's through love. The freedom fighters were right. All of them. The freedom fighters were different colors. They wasn't just one color. The civil rights movement is you. Begin to be the civil rights movement. For others, for tomorrow, show the way, pave the way, be the light, be that beacon of light to light up the world all around you and draw others in too. Greatness reached over oppression through wisdom. I love you. We on a journey. Keep growing, kings and queens.